You're being attacked by a giant cat. Your dragon has no chance. What can he possibly do? Surrender now. I will eat all the dragons on this table. They are no match for me. My kitty once again wants to see what I am doing. Why are you doing this? He's very curious. All right, I said in my last Wyvern video where I featured my Cauldron deck that the next video I would do is the inversion of that. It's what I call my face-up deck, or Cracked Cauldron. Cracked Cauldron says, action. Let me get the glare removed here. All right. Action. Turn one dragon in this row face up. These are smaller print. I'm having to struggle a little bit here. Paying for it if required. This action may be used once on each of your turns. This is the other reason we decided that Cauldron said you can only do it once a turn, because they took the time to do it here. So this is Chameleon, so they updated the card better. But of course they didn't say this with Cauldron. They didn't say you can only do it once per turn, but it seemed like you could only do it once per turn. So Cracked Cauldron isn't necessary really for this deck, but it does help because I can turn up the dragon. I can turn the dragon face up without having to attack. So it is good for the deck. Originally, I was running just 2 copies because I felt I didn't really need it more than that. Then I thought, well, maybe I should just run 4, because why not? If I get 2 in play, then I can turn up 2 dragons a turn when I need to. But I'm only turning them down with cards like Avalanche. There's nothing else that turns them down. So maybe I have to run 4 Avalanche. Now, I had 2 in the deck, and I've changed it to 3. I've since gone down to 3 Cracked Cauldrons. I might go to 4 Avalanche, just so that I can. But the problem with 4, though, is you end up with like 2 in your hand when you don't need them. So I'm going to go with 3 for now. But that is the only way to turn these cards down, because my goal is to have them face up. I like to be able to turn them down to get abilities just like the Cauldron deck. There are several similarities in this deck. What is completely different, though, is the dragons that are used in this deck. Now, I'm still having some possible dragons that I'm not sure about. Actually, let me go over those first. So the first one I wanted that I'm looking at, but I'm not really sure that I want to use it. I had decided before not to, is the one that I mentioned from the Cauldron deck. This is Lung Wong. I think that's how you pronounce it. So he's just a 2-strength dragon, and he just costs 2, but he defends at 3 strength from face up. So that's good. So you have him up, and now he's a 3 on defense. The problem is he attacks at 1 strength from face up, and I don't want that. But I guess I might be able to turn him down with Avalanche if I wanted to attack with him, but why would I want to? I guess keeping him up might be worth it so that he defends at 3, and I'm only paying 2 gold for him. So he's still a maybe for this deck. I'm really not sure. I think I'll try him and just see how he goes. The other one that I probably will add is Hidden Naga. Hidden Naga is just a 2-strength dragon for 3 gold. This deck has Heavenly Naga, which is a 4-strength dragon for 5 gold. And the ability is exactly the same. When Hidden Naga is face up, no treasure in this row can be removed by opponent. So, I don't know why it says by. Why doesn't it say by an opponent? I don't know. But this is, I decided whenever I last modified this deck that I didn't need the 2-strength dragon. I would just keep the 4-strength dragon. But, I mean, the 2-strength has a face-up ability. This card does not say face up, but like the other card that is in my deck, this one is currently not in it, but I might add it. It clearly only works when it is face up. It says for Chao Feng, a 3-strength flying dragon for 4 from the Chameleon set, gain 1 gold piece from the gold mine for each card played by an opponent during your action phases. So on my turn during my action phases. Anytime they play, I am assuming that's only on my turn, first action phase and second phase. If they play for each card played by an opponent during your action phase, well, that includes any reaction. They're not going to play Dragon Slayer action because it's during my action phases, but it would be their action cards and their reaction cards. So this probably goes in. So those are the three that currently aren't in, but that one probably will. The Hidden Naga probably will. I don't know about Lung Wang yet. It's nice on defense to have a 3-strength dragon for 2 gold, but it attacks at 1 strength. That's a negative, which doesn't really fit the theme. So here is Chen Lung. He's a pretty good dragon. He's a 3-strength dragon for 4. When he is face up, you cannot be forced to discard any cards from your hand. Now, the thing about that is, what about Meteor Shower? If my opponent plays Meteor Shower, I'm assuming I can't be forced to discard my hand. But if I don't discard my hand, then I'm assuming that I wouldn't draw 5 cards. If I do discard my hand, I would draw 5. I think that's how it works. If anybody is certain, it knows how that works, feel free to leave a comment. But it's probably explained somewhere in the Insider's Guide, which is the Wyvern book that I highly recommend you purchase if you are interested in playing the Wyvern card game. You can buy the Insider's Guide on eBay, somewhere between 50 to 100. The good prices are closer to 50. The bad prices are closer to 100. So take that for what it's worth. So now we have Gani, a 3-strength dragon for 4. When he is face up, no treasure can be removed from this row by an opponent. So again, Gani, Naga, yeah, so that would be yet another dragon. But that's probably not a bad idea to have multiples of these abilities in the game. This one is a tricky one. Ryu, 3-strength flyer. Ryu gains 1 strength for each treasure played in this row when he is face up. Ryu loses this strength if he is turned face down. Now, I interpret this to mean when he's up, if I now play a treasure in the row, he gains a strength. If there was already a treasure in the row and I play him, I then turn him up, but there was already a treasure, I don't think he gains the strength. I think he only gains the strength when I play the treasure if he is face up. That's how I interpret the rule. So he can become a 4 or a 5-strength flyer by playing treasures in the row. There's also a way that you could possibly move him into another row and then play another treasure, and maybe he could get up to a 6 or a 7. That might be a possibility. So I don't think it's retroactive. I think it's only as you play it. Now here's the other dragon that doesn't say face up, but I did put him in the deck. Gain 1 gold piece. This is T-Lung, a 3-strength subterranean dragon for 4. Gain 1 gold piece each time an opponent exchanges one of their battle positions in lieu of attacking. So again, it doesn't say face up, but it clearly only works when he's face up. Then we have a lot of the big dragons who are immune to Dragon Slayers because several of them only work when they're face up. We have Black, a 4-strength subterranean dragon for 6 gold, immune to Dragon Slayers. Opponent loses 1 gold to the gold mine on each of his draw phases that Black is face up. Then we have Heavenly Naga. That's the one I just mentioned. We have Hidden Naga and Heavenly Naga. So there's the 4-strength dragon that protects treasures. Then we have White. So all the colored dragons are here. Black, white, blue, yellow, I think is the other one. We'll see if there's one that I forgot. So White is a 4-strength flyer who's immune to Dragon Slayers. So he costs 6. And while he is face up, opponent can't play treasure cards. That's a good ability. That's a good ability. It's not a great ability, but it is good. It can really stifle your opponent. Then we have Yellow, who's a 4-strength for 6, immune to Dragon Slayers. You get 1 gold mine. You get 1 gold from gold mine each of your draw phases. Yellow dragon is face up. The problem is you've paid 6 for him. So it will take you 6 turns to get all that money back, but I guess if you paid 6 for a 4-strength dragon that's immune to Dragon Slayers and has an ability, so it's pretty good. I don't know if that's a great ability or not. I guess if you can keep them alive, it's a great ability because you're just going to keep getting gold, and that is good if you can keep them alive. Then we have one of, if not the best dragons in the game, Blue, a super flyer for a 5-strength super flyer. So he costs 7, immune to Dragon Slayers, like all of them are. But all of these colored dragons are. Can attack any card, because he's a super flyer. Draw an extra card in each of your draw phases that Blue is face up. That is an insane ability. You can simply take over the game with Blue because your card draw is just so darn good. So then we have 3 scouts, I believe. Once again, going with Delphine for the card draw. I'm going for Dragonfly, who might get me 2 gold, but he might cost me 2 gold, so I don't necessarily have to play him. And I've got Grendel in here because he's really is the best scout in the game. I really should have him in every one of my constructed decks, but I don't have that many Grendels. So he's only in certain ones, and I don't know why he's in here, but he is, and he's a great dragon. He steals the gold on the terrain. Not only does he destroy the terrain, but he steals any gold symbols on that terrain. Nasty dragon. Totally worth the 1 gold. One could make the argument that you could put 2 gold on here, but I'm glad he's only 1, and I'm glad they never upped it. Lambton Worm, like all of my decks, pay 1 gold, bring him back, gain a battle position. You can only bring him back if you've lost there has to be a vacant position in your battlefield. But it's just a ridiculous dragon because it gets you back a position that you lost, which kind of is unfair. We only play this if both of us are playing it. Otherwise, nobody plays Lambton Worm. Just a few terrains in here. I could add 1 or 2 more terrains. Actually, there are 3 fields of gold in this deck as well. So there's really 6 terrains because here's 3 of them. We have Hurricane that kills any flying dragon. You don't get any gold because it kills a dragon. Then we have Island, which is a nasty terrain. So is Hurricane. Any flying dragon now belongs to you. Dragon stays on island in your battlefield. If island is removed, dragon goes back to original owner's battlefield. If you're afraid that might happen, all you have to do is swap out the dragon that you just stole, and that goes into their discard pile, and you just replace your position, and they've lost that dragon. So it's a real great card. And then, of course, Stream. I ran Stream in the Cauldron deck. Dragon's owner must pay 1 gold piece to the gold mine each of his draw phases that the stream is on the dragon, and you get a gold piece on top of that. So really, really good. Really good. Let me finish the sentence. Really good terrain. All right, there's some more. Then we have Basilisk, of course. Now, this is not the updated one. Let me get you the updated so we're being real clear. Well, let me see where it is. Okay, so here is the updated wording on Basilisk. Kills himself and 1 other dragon in battle. No battle action cards are played in a battle that Basilisk is a part of, and there is no winner or loser. So there you go. Basilisk is a great dragon. Even though he kills himself, he takes out whatever he hits. Interceptors destroy Basilisk. That's the only real way to beat Basilisk is to have an interceptor ready. And that will take care of Basilisk just like that. Then we have Mixquaddle, and this again, these are my 4 cards that I use in most of my decks for the great gold generation. I'm not going to go through these again. You can read that he attacks amazingly. Otherwise, he's a 0 flying dragon on defense, but when he attacks, he is ridiculously powerful. But I normally just swap him out for the gold because you'll get 6 gold with the card that I'm about to show you. And then we have 3 copies of Field of Gold. I could run 4 copies of Field of Gold with the 1 Mixquaddle. Perfectly fine either way. The dragon gets a +1 buff, so their dragon gets better, but you get 4 gold. You can swap this out and play Gold Dig for 4 gold. This is where all the gold generation comes from, and it is amazing. So, in the let me get this up here. So on the side, I keep to my side 4 magnetic fields. We will either both play the magnetic fields or neither of us will. And I also keep these on the side because I don't have enough for all of my decks. I only have so many of them. I've collected a pretty good amount now, but I don't have them in every deck. This is the best card in the game. It counters any purple card that your opponent plays. Action, reaction, battle action, intercept action, doesn't matter. Any purple card. These are purple. This is a purple card. So your treasure hoard is either gold or purple. Everything else is purple. Every single card here. They're all purple. This card is bonkers, but it does cost 2 gold. And then gold dig is how you get all the gold. Gain X gold pieces equal to the number of gold symbols on the top card of your Dragon Lair discard pile. That just gives you the gold you need. This game is very hard without gold dig. You can easily run out of gold. You can play. I mean, the gold dig did not exist until the Chameleon set. So people played this game. It's just that it was hard. And you had to really manage your gold, which is part of the game. You got to learn how to manage your gold so you don't run out. All right, let's get into the rest. I think, yeah, we have to get into the rest of the deck now. All right, so if you saw my Cauldron deck, you will see a lot of similarities here because while this deck wants the dragons up and the Cauldron deck wants the dragons down, I do like putting them down, bringing them back up, and such. So we're going to have some similarities. So 3 cracked Cauldron, 1 magic potion for the same reason that it's in the Cauldron deck, to make my dragons be able to help each other in battle. It's just 1 copy as a safety valve, kind of. 2 copies of Fountain of Youth to prevent them from dying. Just a one-time use for each. This card is in this deck because it is so themed to the deck that I had to include 1. Merlin. Move any card on a face-up dragon in either battlefield to any other face-up dragon. So I can take my opponent's cards and put them on mine. I can take my cards and put them on my opponent's. Merlin is actually a really good card, and it's free. There's no gold cost. Probably because they felt it shouldn't have a gold cost. But there's just 1 copy. I could go 2 copies and take out Pan. Pan is an interesting card, though, and let me show you why I'm playing it. Pan says, opponent must show you, and this is an action, so only in the first or second action phase, opponent must show you his hand and lose 1 gold for each Dragon Slayer action card in his hand that he doesn't discard. So discard the Dragon Slayer or pay a gold for each Dragon Slayer in your hand. That is not going to come up a lot. So, but the reason I'm playing Pan in this deck is I want my dragons face up. My dragons are face up. They are vulnerable to Dragon Slayers. Now, about 4 of them are immune to Dragon Slayers, but the rest aren't. And they're going to be face up. So it's really in there just for that reason. It kind of fits the theme of what I'm doing here. I also added, just today, 1 copy of Whirlpool. This normally costs 1 gold. There should be a gold symbol here, but the original card was free. Draw 2 cards from your treasure hoard draw pile. It's just a good card to put in any deck. You draw 2 cards. It's totally worth it. All right, I could take it out. I could play something else. So I'm playing 3 Avalanche so that I can turn my dragons face down. It also is going to turn my opponent's cards face down, and I don't necessarily want to do that, but it's okay. That's not a big deal. I'm focusing on my cards mostly. I could run 2 copies. I could run 4 copies. We're going to start with 3. I'm running 2 Marduk in this deck. Don't need these in the deck, but they might be really good. Marduk can be really good in any deck. It's just do you want to play them? So right now I'm running 2. 4 copies of Meteor Shower. Just like in my Cauldron deck, I'm going to go through my hand often and run out of cards. Meteor Shower is the best way to refill your hand. Of course, that 1 Whirlpool will help too. So then I'm going to run, just like the last deck, how many copies? 2 copies. 2 copies of Rainbow. So I can turn up my dragons and get a gold for each one that I turn up. Now I have to pay for them, but if I've paid for them, then I just get a gold piece for each one I turn up. And then I turn them back down with Avalanche. And then I turn them back up with Tsunami and draw cards. But this card really fits the theme of the deck too, because I want my dragons face up. And if I don't have the cracked Cauldron, Tsunami will do it, and so will Rainbow. So these are the critical cards for the deck. Getting them turned down, the only way is Avalanche. So this will sometimes just be a one-time use, but we'll see how that plays. Playing my 1 copy of Volcanic Eruption that I have in every one of my constructed decks because it gets back any card, and you are only allowed to play 1 copy. Originally, you could play 4, so if you are playing this with your friends, you can play more than 1 copy, but the updated rules limited it to 1, so that's your choice if you want to follow that rule or not. They just felt that it was too manipulative with constructed decks. Also, we're going to run 2 copies of Windfall. 2 is enough. I could run 3. Each player gains 1 gold piece from the gold mine for each face-up dragon in his or her battlefield when Windfall is played. So Windfall is more themed to my face-up deck than my Cauldron deck, but it works in my Cauldron deck too, which is why it is in both decks. Running 2 golden apples to keep my guys alive, running 2 knights to get out of battles. I could easily take these out and do something different, but here is the other change. I am running 4 copies of Possession Spell. Why? Because remember, this deck is a face-up deck. I want dragons face-up. You may add the strength of any face-up dragon on the table to this battle. The dragon cannot be one that is currently in the battle. And, let me see if we have the updated rule here. We do not. The possessed dragon's strength, the one that you possess, that dragon now has a strength of 0. The strength that you've possessed, let's say it was 3, whatever it was, it's added to your dragon. You didn't bring the other dragon into the battle. It's just your dragon in the battle. You've possessed their strength and added it to your dragon. That dragon that is possessed is now 0 for the rest of the battle, meaning you can't play a second possession spell. No one can possess him. Once he's possessed one time, he can't be possessed a second time for the battle. It won't do anything. So that's what they added in the Kingdom edition of this card. There's the added text. It's very small words to get it all in. So that's what they did. So 4 copies, because I should have face-up dragons, and hopefully my opponent will have a face-up dragon that I can possess too. Then I'm also running 1 copy of Prometheus. Again, I don't have to do this, but it is a very good card. Opponent must show you his hand and lose 1 gold for each battle action card in his hand that he doesn't discard. So Pan goes after their Dragon Slayers. Prometheus goes after their battle actions. I could run 2, 3, 4 copies of this. I'm just playing 1 just to do it, to try it, and I think it's a nice use of the card. Running 1 copy is very good. Running 4 copies again, just like the Cauldron deck of Magical Sword. Again, this is something that I don't need to do. I could use different cards. I could use Power Switch instead, or Poison Chalice. I could run 2 and 2. Poison Chalice and Power Switch are 2 of the most powerful cards in the game. I could run Medea's Spell, which is also a very powerful card. Just a reminder that Medea's Spell and Power Switch only affect the base strength. So if you play this game and you buy starter decks, they will not say base strength on Power Switch and Medea's Spell. You probably won't get them because they are rare, but you might open 1 or 2 of them. You never know. And it's just good to know what the rules are. Like I said, if you're going to start playing this game, I recommend you buy the Insider's Guide on eBay. It will be well worth it if you want to start playing this game, to really get a good knowledge of the game from that book. Just 1 Firebolt. Again, don't need it. It's just an option for fighting. I'm only running Sir Galahad. In my Cauldron deck, I ran Sir Galahad and Jason, who slays any dragon for 3 gold. Sir Galahad slays any dragon of 4 or more strength for 2 gold. So an excellent Dragon Slayer. Probably should add Jason to this deck too. And because I have face-up dragons, I need some protection from Dragon Slayers. I probably should run a Marina and a Kiss of Lesuccube. Kiss of Lesuccube is played in response to the play of a Dragon Slayer. The Dragon Slayer is discarded with no effect. It should have just said that Dragon Slayer is countered. And you can destroy any card on the table. That's sick. That's just ridiculous. So they limited this. They realized this card was too powerful. They limited it to just one copy in the deck, and I totally agree with that. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this card, but at one copy, it's an acceptable card in the game. At 4 copies, it's just absurd. It's just silly. And I think there's a card called Red Kangaroo that does that with interceptors. So just so you know. Anyway, that is my cracked Cauldron deck. Let me bring it back over here. Really, really like the idea of the cracked Cauldron, that it's broken, it's spilled out. And instead of hiding the dragon, it reveals the dragon. It turns it up. So this is a fun deck to play. Having to play with all your dragons face up is kind of like the opposite of how you would normally play Wyvern. You like to keep them face down so that your opponent doesn't know what's there. And this one's saying, nope, there they are. But we have Avalanche. Sometimes I will turn them down, but I'm going to turn them right back up when I do. So I highly recommend you check out decks like this. You can, like I say, if you buy starter decks on eBay, you will get Cauldron. You will not get cracked Cauldron because it's from Chameleon. That's the Chameleon symbol. You will only get cards from the limited set, which you can look up online. Kingdom starter decks will go for a lot of money. You don't want to buy Kingdom starter decks. They're too expensive. Limited starter decks is where you want to go. They are all over eBay. Plenty of them. Limited booster packs are on eBay. You can get those at reasonable prices. Some people are charging over $100. I saw somebody charging about $60. So that's how you build up a Wyvern collection without going broke. Unless you want to spend money, don't buy Kingdom ones, don't buy Phoenix, don't buy Chameleon. You'll go broke. I got lucky. I got in on this stuff when the game was dead and these cards were practically being given away. I got them dirt cheap. So I'm lucky that I got in at the time when I did. The game died as we were getting into the game and really starting to play it. And then the game died. But then I bought a whole bunch of decks for practically nothing. I bought a Chameleon booster box for $30. Booster packs. A booster box of booster packs. Yeah, they don't have starter decks for Chameleon. $30. And I paid $15 for a Kingdom box of booster packs booster packs. I'm pretty sure it was Kingdom. Even if it was limited, $15. It was crazy. That's how much this stuff was going for before collectors started collecting. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to y'all later. Oh, and no, I got one more thing to tell you. The next Wyvern deck that I'm going to be making a video about has to do with a constructed deck that I built. It's right here, and it's all about building the best kind of versatile constructed deck I could build that had the best cards available, but did a variety of things. It wasn't just any particular theme. So that's the next deck that I'll be featuring in my Wyvern deck tech videos. Hope you stay tuned for that several days from now. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.